The college football experience, week 0 DFS show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by our very own Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. Oh yeah. Look, you gotta check it out. Join today, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app to get last minute tickets to the lowest price guaranteed. Use the promo code SGPN for $20 off. Actually, I'm sorry. Promo code CFBX. I always forget that we have our own promo here. CFBX. Get on over there, type it in because it's college football season, baby. CFBX for $20 off. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, we are. And look, download the app now. Use the promo code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly. All right. When they bet just $5 on any college football bet, $5. All right. Only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Yes. It's that time of season, baby. It is that time of season. We are here, week 0 preview and picks for DFS. What is DFS? Come on, people. You know what it is. All right. It's basically fantasy football, but on DFS, done by our sponsor, DraftKings. Get on over there and check them out. We're going to give away our top lineups, 2 different slates. It's going to be fantastic. The season is fucking here, and it's just fantastic. Folks, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Season is here. It's absolutely fantastic. We got games. Oh, we're going to be breaking them all down. We do this show all year, by the way, in case you weren't with us last year.
Or the year before. Or the year before that.
Oh, yeah, folks. I am joined by my co-host, the DFS god himself. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lot giving, farmer, Herndon basketball MVP. Give it up, Red Sea Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, man?
First down. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited. I've already got multiple DFS lineups in. I'm just super, super excited. And, kick the fucking ball off already.
I think this year, college football fantasy and college football DFS, it's starting to gain some traction and gain popularity. In years past, it's been very niche. A lot of people, there's too many teams. It's just too much. I can't handle it. But I've been seeing on different media outlets, more stuff on Twitter, more websites popping up. I feel like college football DFS and college football season long is gaining popularity. So we've been in here in the trenches for a few years now, and we fucking love it. I mean, we love college football in general. We love picking games. We love doing fantasy, DFS, you name it. We're here for you.
And there's a shit ton of more weekday games, so we might have to be doing your lunch schedule just filled up, buddy. All right. I mean, there's a chance tomorrow. Well, let's save it to tomorrow. Let's say there's a chance I might have to hit you up about 3 teams joining the ACC tomorrow. So I'm hearing a lot of rumblings that the ACC might have 3 new teams tomorrow. If that happens, expect an emergency pod, folks. This is available. The DFS pod. Yeah, there we go. This is the DFS pod, and we are diving into it. But before we dive into it, I want to tell you that the college football experience week 0 DFS pod is brought to you by Game Time. Yes. Buying your tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful. All right. Game Time's the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all things, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's comedy, whether it's theater. Got to use Game Time. They got killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee. Well, let me tell you, you can stop stressing over your tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. Forget planning months in advance. What's that ever get done for you? All right. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event, and they have the Game Time guarantee. All right. And this is like a Ric Flair guarantee. This is how fucking great this is. Get this. You'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference, baby. So download the Game Time app and snag the tickets without the stress. Create an account. Use the promo code CFBX for $20 off. Terms apply, of course. Once again, create that account. CFBX is that promo code for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, August is almost over, and you know what that means. Time's running out. Get your fantasy football shit together, people. We already got the college football fantasy league going. This weekend, me and NC Nick got our NFL fantasy draft going. It's that time, all right? And maybe you've never done best ball, but let me explain. All you got to do is, it's one live snake draft, no waivers, no trades. You set it, you forget it, and boom, Underdog does the rest. And they have Underdog's Best Ball Mania tournament, which you should enter because it's the largest fantasy football contest of all time. $15 million in total prizes up for grabs, including an absurd $3 million to the winner. Let me ask you, do you have what it takes to hop on in and win?
I do.
Sit there. Yeah, there you go. The time is now. That window's shutting. September 7th. All bets are off, folks. So visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Find them in the App Store and sign up with the promo code SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Once again, that's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SGPN. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we are back on the college football experience and DFS. Shout out to the chat. Everyone's rocking. GBO Farms rocking. Everyone else is rocking. I saw some other talk there. I can't answer them all, and I'm reading all that gibberish. All right, folks, it's DFS time though. How do you want to break this down, buddy? Which way you want to go first?
I might as well start. Go chronologically if I can talk. So the first slate, if you will, is really just 2 games. It's the 2 early games. It's Navy, Notre Dame. It's UTEP, Jacksonville State. So, and really this was just released, I think it was earlier today or late yesterday. So probably even it's probably better that way because I tinkered with my main slate. I mean, that came out last week. I had way too much time to tinker, to make changes, go back and forth. So this slate just came out, like I said, either earlier today or late yesterday. So it's just 2 games, but I feel pretty good about it. You got, again, Navy, Notre Dame with an over-under of 49. UTEP Jacksonville State with an over-under of 54. Let's dive right in. Quarterbacks, you got 2?
Let's dive in, Mr. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy over there. Folks, do you get that reference, that movie? That's a challenge. You put that movie on. I challenge you to make it through that movie. That you want to go to sleep? All right. You don't need NyQuil. All right. You don't need, put on Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Well acted, but holy shit, is that this make you fall asleep? And look, folks, we invite you to come play DFS with us. All right.
We will tweet out the links. It's only a couple bucks a contest, more for bragging rights. and feel free to use our lineups or maybe just a portion of our lineups for some bigger stakes games as well.
Oh, and the same very lineups that have hit for $1,000 multiple times. Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Those would be the ones.
Yeah, there we go. Let's jump on it because yes, I do have 2 quarterbacks, and I actually like this slate better than my next slate. How about you?
Yeah, because I haven't had a chance to mess around with it too much because often your initial reactions tend to be the best. So it'll be curious as to which ones we go with. But really with these 4 teams, I really think only 3 quarterbacks are in the discussion because I don't think you start Navy's quarterback.
And you're wondering, I mean, you're probably sitting there saying, wait, is Tedros really getting the start? I would be paranoid. I'd be paranoid knowing that, there's no way if you're playing Navy's starting quarterback, you're burning money, in my opinion.
And you want to look at implied totals. Like Notre Dame has an implied total. I mean, Vegas thinks they'll score about 35 points in this game. Navy's all the way down at 15, and UTEP and Jacksonville are both hovering around 26, 27. So I didn't roster anybody for Navy. I think it's always hard with the triple option teams to try to pinpoint which guy is going to have the most rushing yards and maybe find the end zone. So I don't know about you, but I steer clear of Navy completely.
Yeah, I did too.
All right. So I think we're going to share the same 2 quarterbacks personally. I think we're talking Sam Hartman and Zion Webb.
No.
You went Gavin Hardison.
I have Hardison and Zion Webb.
You are hating on Hartman big time.
It's gonna be raining all day. Why would I want to roster up that? You know what I mean? Navy's defense was top 30 a season ago too, buddy.
Speaking of lineups that won you thousands of dollars, I do believe Sam Hartman was in one of those lineups.
And let me ask you something: is Dave Clawson on that sidelines? All right.
And neither is A.T. Perry, and
Donovan Green, and
Jaquari Roberson, and some of those other Wake Forest receivers. Yeah. But all right, I mean, we talked about this in the game, and breaking down the game and picking ATS last night. I mean, is the weather really going to be a factor? That's the question. And I guess we might not know until tomorrow or Saturday. I tend to believe that it's not going to be. But you may want to, look at your lineup, look at your weather app Saturday morning to determine.
You might want to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy that Sam Hartman play because your Navy's a top 30 defense. I think they were actually 31st a season ago, if memory serves me correct. But they returned 9 on the defensive side of the ball. You kidding me? All right, you got a brand new offensive coordinator who's never been. I mean, come on.
I like that there's differences already. So I went, obviously, Sam Hartman, the Notre Dame quarterback. I went Zion Webb, the 7th-year quarterback for Jacksonville State, dual threat option. But Colby also goes Gavin Hardison, the UTEP quarterback, who's also been around for forever. Doesn't do anything with his legs, though. But he's a solid quarterback, but I think his upside is somewhat limited.
Hang on, he did have 1 rushing touchdown with his legs a season ago. All right,
it was probably from a yard out.
And to me, when I think about Jacksonville State, if there's one position that I question or one group, it's the defensive side of the ball, not the offensive side of the ball. And when I look back at Gavin Hardison, I look back at a couple games that stand out to me. What he did early in the season before he got dinged up, because Week 1 last year against North Texas, that was week 0 actually. He threw for 293 yards and a score. All right. He also had 29 yards rushing on the ground. Not a lawn chair, baby. Then the very next week at Oklahoma, he threw for another 244 against the Sooners. Now he did have negative yards rushing in this game, but then I mean, look at Louisiana Tech game, 320 yards. I actually think Jacksonville State's defense is more aligned with Louisiana Tech's than a lot of other teams on the schedule. So I see opportunity, and I think he's cheaper than Sam Hartman. And here's another angle with Hartman. No, we know Notre Dame's defense is fantastic, right? Navy's going to a shotgun. What if they don't score any points? Have you thought about this? Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
what if this is the disaster and like it's 28-0 after the first quarter and Hartman gets pulled?
I mean, that's true. I mean, the blowout potential is there. That's why it's a 20-point spread, and the other game is a 1.5-point spread currently. So, and you're saving what $1,700 or so. So, I'm interested in what the rest of your lineup is going to look like, considering you're saving those dollars at quarterback.
I'll put it like this: I got $2,600 just sitting there.
Ooh, okay. So
collecting
you're not really
dust.
So it sounds like you could roster Hartman over Hardison because you have the extra money, but you still don't. What? That sounds like our bourbon side bet right there. Then.
Yeah. There we go. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's go.
Running back.
That's NC Nick's dog, by the way. Shout out to the chat. It's not Muddy Waters, not available today, but you know.
The dogs are barking. It's a sign, guys. It's a sign. Be on the dogs this weekend.
We both have Zion Webb, though. Jacksonville State starting quarterback.
Yes.
He's 35 years old. He knows the ins and outs of the offense. Curious though. Okay, as we jump on over to the running back position, I'm sure we have a lot of the same players here.
Yeah, because I think the top guys were very affordable.
Yeah,
and so that's going to start with Notre Dame's running back, Aldrick Estime.
Yep.
6,500.
I mean, if you're not playing him, Notre Dame has 2 tackles. This is another thing with Hartman. They might not need to throw.
True.
Like Notre Dame's offensive line is so dominant that even though I'm like, hey, Navy's bringing back 9. If it's raining, you don't just hand the ball off and watch them just dominate. So I think if
this guy stood out last year too. Now last year was more of a time split with a Diggs, the guy that transferred down to LSU.
Yeah.
So he transferred out. So I think Estime is definitely the top dog in the backfield. If you watch him last year, I mean, the dude is a big bruiser. I think he's in store, I think, for 100 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I mean, you got to have him on the roster. Now I'm going to hit you with a dilemma that I was faced with in a minute.
Okay.
About, so let's actually, fuck it. Let's talk about it right now. Shout out to Jake Paquin in the chat. Legend.
The man.
Webb anytime touchdown -150, by the way, he's saying.
So that's just a rushing touchdown.
It's Rich Rod's offense though.
That sounds -150. I would like to see the other players in the same game.
Let me ask you about this next one here. And you can actually sway me right now because I was a bit confused here on like what I should do. So remember Chris Tyree ran for 444 yards a season ago. He's the backup to Estime.
Not
right?
really.
Well, I mean, he's now the slot back.
Exactly. Right? I think he's going to be on the field at the same time. He basically almost kind of moved to receiver.
Yeah, he's kind of in like the Eric Metcalf role.
Yeah.
Right. What up, Lane? Is it worth that? Like, so I was sitting here. We know Jacksonville State's got a wideout that's injured, right? So I was like, do I go with Tyree, hoping that he gets carries if they're up by a lot?
The way I see it, I think Tyree is a starter. So I think if they're up by a lot, I think there's going to be carries going to a backup running back, whoever that is. Now that you mentioned Tyree, he is in my roster for 4,800. He's listed as a running back. I think it sounds like he's going to play more receiver this year, but in an offense that's kind of limited with the playmakers on the outside, I think Tyree can have a nice game catching short passes from Hartman. And I think he's just underpriced at 4,800.
All right. You sold me. I'm ditching my guy. Cause that's the thing is Rich Rod does not pass the ball consistently. I was going with one of his wideouts, Joyner. I'm sorry. And I was sitting there like, okay, well, if they just don't commit to passing the ball enough, in my opinion. So you're sitting there saying, okay, well, what are we going to do?
So I'll tell you right now, I'm loading up big on Notre Dame. Now, your point earlier is a good point that hopefully they're not up by too much too early. Then I might get screwed. Then you might want more guys in a closer game.
This is the hardest game. I was just on a show right before this, and I was like, the guest, and they asked me about this game, and you can paint like 70 different outcomes here. I'm like, the rain, the rule changes. Maybe Navy stays in it with 21. then I'm like, at the same time, Notre Dame's offense is incredible. Like the offensive line is incredible. So it's like I could see them just playing bully ball and benching. And another thing is like if Navy's going to commit to passing the ball, they haven't had accurate passers, and Notre Dame's defense has got like really good safeties and corners. So I'm like, I could see pick sixes happening left and right, and this game could get really ugly early on. So I'm all over the place with this game. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll stay with Joyner. So I'll talk about him in a second.
All right. So I've named two of my running backs because Tyree's listed as a running back. I have one more running back. How many do you have?
I have two more.
All right, shoot.
So I am not going with Tyree. Tyree. So folks, that is not happening. I am jumping over and I'm riding. Well, I'm going with the tank Hankins. Let's go.
Play the music.
Let's fucking go. This is a no-brainer. I mean, Rich Rod's teams, I feel like always give up. Like, what's the knock against Rich Rod? Is normally it's a soft defense, but it's a super fast offense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, why would you not load up on the heart of UTEP's offense?
I mean, in my season long, I drafted the Tank Hankins because of two things. Ronald Awatt has graduated. He was the other running back last year, and Tank Hankins was hurt last year. He said in spring ball, he finally feels like himself again. He was banged up last year. That's why he kind of played a complementary role to Awatt. So I think he is the lead dog again if he's fully healthy like he says he is. And our guy Phil Steele ranks this UTEP offensive line top in the Conference USA. So I think the ground game for UTEP is going to get moving on Saturday.
Yeah. And then so wait, those are all your running backs then, huh?
Yes.
Oh boy, are you making a mistake?
Jacksonville State, huh?
$4,200. Malik Jackson. Do you know where he's a transfer from?
I don't have a good feel for the breakdown of the Jacksonville State backfield.
Well, I can tell you Malik Jackson is in year 6 of college football. He transferred over to Rich Rod was his former OC 2 years ago at ULM. For his senior season, he's going to Jacksonville State. I'm hearing that he's going to be the starting running back. So that is why I am loading up on the 6th year senior running back.
So he's co-starter. The depth chart was just recently released. He's a co-starter with Ron Wiggins.
Buddy, Rich Rod's offenses fly. All right. They fly. Get on over there, get some of that action. They're going to put points up, man. They're going to put points up in this game. So
it's not a bad play. I just didn't have a good feel between Jackson and Wiggins as who was going to get the most carries between the two, or they might be an equal split.
I'm going to trust the veteran. All right. Why did he transfer over there? Why?
Well, Wiggins was there last year and ran for over 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he has familiarity with the system and with Rich Rod.
Well, so yeah.
I see your point, but for me, not watching much of Jacksonville State last year because they were in the FCS, I stayed away from that backfield.
Not me, buddy. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go. All right. Wide receiver wise.
All right. I think we're probably going to share the same receiver because I think he's by far the top receiver in these two games. He transferred to Texas A&M, played spring ball there, decided, you know what? I like things in El Paso a bit more. That is the 1,000-yard receiver from last year, UTEP's Tyron Smith, 6.8K.
Yeah, he went to College Station, and then some old Rebecca said, "Hey, what are you doing? Thought we had love." All right, he came back to El Paso. He's about to kill it.
Maybe he saw some of those SEC secondaries. Was like, you know what? Things aren't too bad in the old CUSA.
That, or maybe the government did just shut down the 12th Man Collective. Maybe his check bounced.
That's
all right.
That's possible.
There's a lot of different outcomes here.
Last time we see a star receiver from UTEP, it was Jacob Cowling. He transferred to Arizona.
Stud.
Continued to kill it. And that's exactly what Tyron Smith has been doing for UTEP. So I think you have to roster him. And it's nice that you have the stack with him and Hardison. I don't have that.
71 catches the season to go over 1,000 yards. Get the guy the ball. All right, get him the ball. Yeah. So we both have him. Okay, now let's jump on over. So, who's your next wideout then?
Notre Dame's top receiver, apparently for 6K, Jaden Thomas. The passing game, granted, if it's not a downpour, should be much improved over last year. He showed flashes last year with bad quarterback play. So I think Jaden Thomas can have a decent game. I'm stacking him with Hartman.
We might have another bottle of bourbon here.
Okay.
So Notre Dame in a way is one of these schools that you could argue is tight end U.
Sure.
Mark Bavaro went to Notre Dame, man. We can go back.
Kyle Rudolph.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's what I'm saying. Michael Mayer a year ago. You can just go Irv Smith. They have a brand new tight end, but it's Mitchell Evans, who was their second string tight end a year ago. They're gonna throw him the ball. Like, to me, I actually think Notre Dame's wideouts aren't very good. So like I actually think like their best threat is the tight end, or maybe Tyree out of the backfield. I can buy into, or at the slot back or slot wideout, whatever you want to say. I'm gonna load up on. Look, he's off. He's only 4,600 there, buddy. Just save you some money, or you want to battle this? You want a bottle of bourbon on the line?
Sure. I mean, my guy is 6K. So if you feel comfortable still betting it, as far as who's going to have a better game, I will gladly place that wager with you,
buddy. This is a. When's the last time a Notre Dame receiver did shit? All right,
Tim Brown won the Heisman in '89.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Notre Dame's been just a tight end factory. You're insane. Yeah, done. Battle of bourbon. Let's go.
All right. So I have one guy left. You two, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I did not save any money. I spent every last single dollar, and my last guy is bottom of the barrel, 3K, the cheapest you'll find. I'm going to go Jacksonville State and a guy by the name of Brock Reichsteiner.
Great name.
He was, this is my total punt play. I got no idea who this dude is, but he was listed as a co-starter alongside your guy, Quentin Lane, who you mentioned earlier. And it sounds like he's listed as a receiver, but will get some time at tight end. So I like the fact that if he's listed as a co-starter at receiver, when he's not in the game as a receiver, maybe he'll be in the game as a tight end. It's a total shot in the dark, dart throw. We'll see what Brock Reichsteiner can do.
Yeah.
What you got on that? That's a deep pull.
That is. Look, and I could go get your Notre Dame receivers. I have $2,600 that are just sitting there. All right.
Or you could go get Sam Hartman.
No, I don't play those games. All right. I am going to the former. So we know that PJ Wells is missing the game, correct?
I think so.
That sucks, by the way. Starting wideout for Jacksonville State's out.
All the more reason to be on the Miners.
No. Rich Rod, baby. I'm going to take a shot on Jamari Joyner. Actually, I mean, shit, I could get their number one. Actually, I think I should go Galbon. He's their number one. So let's go with Sterling Galbon, because I was going to go Joyner, the Arizona transfer, but let's go with Galbon. He's their top receiver from a year ago. And with Wells out, he's the top receiver from a year ago. So I think they're going to have to focus on him. He may get, doubled, but I don't know. I think Rich Rod's offense is a little too dynamic to really do shit like that. So I will take a shot on their top returning receiver starting this week.
I like it
here.
I feel like our rosters are a mirror of our picks from last night. I was high on Notre Dame. I loaded up with Notre Dame. You were high on Jacksonville State over UTEP. You loaded up on Rich Rod's offense. So I like it. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, folks. Before we get to the second slate of DFS, told you we're just loading up here. Let's talk a little Underdog Fantasy here. You should get over to Underdog Fantasy, folks, because I know I already did, one of their ad reads, but so if you get over there, underdogfantasy.com, find them in the App Store and sign up with the promo code SGPN, you can double your first deposit up to $100, right? Well, me and NC Nick have decided to look at some of these props that we like. NC Nick, one that jumped out to me right away was estimate over 85.5 yards.
I just mentioned I think he's going to break 100, so I like that for sure.
Yeah,
now,
he might have this in the first quarter.
We have to mention that you have to parlay these. You have to parlay at least 2, or more to better your odds. I like that a lot.
So I have 3 here that I'm just going to rattle off. Then I'll let you tell the people yours. Okay. I like Marshawn Lloyd. He's a transfer from South Carolina. I expect him to get a rushing touchdown at some point. I think USC is going to, score a ton of points in this game. So at some point they're going to have a rushing touchdown. Now I know he's going to be splitting time with the Stanford transfer Jones, but you don't bring in Marshawn Lloyd from South Carolina without trying to get him some shine. So I'm going to take the over on a half a rushing touchdown.
I like that too.
You got to figure they're going to score in the 50s. So it's like, let's say they get, 8 touchdowns. Can their starting running back, get one of the 8 touchdowns?
Well, USC's implied total is 49 for this game. That has an over.
I like the over on that.
An over under of 66.5. So Vegas thinks there's going to be about 7 touchdowns by USC, and I would say, I think I saw that was it 3 touchdowns or 3.5 touchdowns by Caleb Williams, that over under. So I would say like 3 or 4 of the touchdowns will be passing, and then 2 or 3 probably will be rushing. So I like Marshawn Lloyd's chances of finding pay dirt.
Yeah. Okay. And then my third guy, because I'm going with a 3. I'm parlaying 3. Jacoby Jones is a wideout for the Ohio Bobcats. Ohio
big play threat.
Yeah, and 48.5 receiving yards. This guy was a strong contributor. Now I know they have a lot of weapons, so it's a little. This one I actually feel is the least one I trust out of the 3. But if you look at his game logs, it's kind of a lock. I get it. Like San Diego State's got good defense. They got a good secondary, but
they do.
I still feel like, this could be one catch.
Yeah,
this could be one catch. Yeah,
he's a hit or miss guy. He's a big play threat. So I like your other 2 plays better, but I think this one could certainly hit as well.
So that's what I'm doing. Tell me about your underdog plays.
First thing, Tracy Howard in the chat says, "Are we going to get updates on your season-long fantasy league?" Yes, you definitely will, Tracy. Now remember, our week-long fantasy doesn't start till week 1. So even though there's some players on our teams that play week 0, those points won't count. So stay tuned. You'll hear more about that next week. But I have 3 plays that I like also. We'll start with Diego Pavia, the quarterback for New Mexico State. I like over 36.5 rushing yards. He last year. And so last year the team was kind of platooning 2 quarterbacks through the first half of the year. Then he kind of took the reins and took charge and was the main guy. In the last 6 games, he ran for 50+ yards in 5 of the 6 games. Specifically, the game against UMass, who they're playing this weekend, he ran for over 50 yards in that game, and he only played 2.5 quarters. So I think Pavia is a dual threat quarterback who's definitely going to get more than 36.5 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I look, he's this guy. First off, shout out to him, because I do believe I might have tweeted something negative about one of his plays last year from the TCE account. And I think he told me to go fuck myself. What?
Just blame it on Noah.
Yeah, there we go. Noah, what the hell are you doing? No. Anyway, look, fair. Look, we welcome that. All right. If anything, that makes me like you more. Diego,
right.
Yeah.
Call us out.
I think he's a former wrestler that became a quarterback. He's gutsy, man, and he's just the type of guy Jerry Kill wants at quarterback. So I like that. So there you go. There you go. No,
right, my second
crazy
guy,
bastard.
Receiver for Hawaii, Jonah Pinoki, if I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, sorry. Higher, more than 43.5 receiving yards. I think he's Hawaii's main, threat as a receiver. I think they're going to be playing from behind against Vanderbilt. They're going to have to pass a lot. He caught 7 catches for 101 yards in the game against Vanderbilt last year. And remember, that was game number 1 with Timmy Chang's offense. And game number 1, playing with a quarterback, Shager, who only played, I think, 2/3 of that game or something.
Brendan Shager bombs.
Shager
Let's
bombs.
go.
So I like Pinocchio to get over, what did I say? 56 and a half. No, I'm sorry, 43 and a half yards. Come on. No brainer.
Yeah. I think that one's a really good play. Cause like I said, I think the floodgates will open. They'll be down by late third. Vandy's going to get the thing up to 28, maybe, 27, something like that. And then Hawaii's just going to be throwing that ball every play.
And last one I'll throw out there, Will Shepherd, the wide receiver 1 for Vandy. We'll get to this, the main slate, but I think the main slate is lacking top-notch receivers, like true number 1s. I think Sam Wigluth is a true number 1 for Ohio, and I think Will Shepherd is a true number 1 for Vandy, who is criminally underpriced in DraftKings this slate. I wonder if Colby's rostering him, but I think he's going to have more than 58.5 receiving yards also.
Let's go, folks. Make sure I'm telling you, Underdog Fantasy has just bargain shopping if you like DFS stuff, guys. So get on over there and take advantage. Folks, look, I want to tell you before we get to our night slate or my whole day slate. And I see the chat rolling along talking stuff. But look, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience DFS show for week 0 is brought to you by DraftKings. Yes, we've waited all year long and the time has finally arrived. All right. We've been waiting. How many fucking episodes have I done? I am so sick of we got college football here and everything that we love that makes college football unique, baby. The traditions, the tailgates, the fight songs, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. So kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download that app now. Use the promo code SGP. And like I said, take Jacksonville State and boom, bet your little $5 and you get $200 back. What are you doing? And whatever you make, don't bet $5. Bet more. All right. But if you only have $5,
bet whatever you can afford. Bet responsibly.
There we go. NC Nick, the responsible one here. New customers once again can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code SGP. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. State specific responsibility. Gambling resources. Bonus bets expire with 7 days within issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.com/. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
There we go.
We're also brought to you by SGP Sports Gambling Podcast. Yes, the Patreon. Make sure to check out our Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL win totals contest with $1,000 first place prize. The guys just recorded their first sports gambling podcast, stories podcast. Yeah, just for the patrons, chronicling the birth of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. There's even a Discord channel just for the patrons. The Sports Gambling Podcast has and always will give out their picks for free. The Patreon's just a great way to support the network and fight back against those scumbags, corporate gamblers. You know, those scumbags. They're the enemy. All right. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right, we are back, and now we're ready to kick ass. And once again, we invite you to come play DFS with us, folks. NC Nick, give him a follow on Twitter at NC__NICK. He's gonna have it going there. Shout out to Jake Pakeman, who says DK has a 100% boost for the Notre Dame game. You can get Aldrich anytime at +105. Holy shit!
On that.
Get over there right now, Jake Pakeman doing the Lord's work. I mean, I love my roster here.
Did you tinker as much as I did?
I did not tinker.
I think this came out last Thursday. I think it came out like a week ago. So I had way too much time to switch players in and out. Try to get the optimal lineup. We'll see what happens. But I went 2 quarterbacks. You?
Yep. Loaded up on 2 quarterbacks, and
the main question
let me tell
is, did you go Caleb Williams?
Yes. I mean, what the fuck? Look.
It's chalky as hell, but you have to, right?
No, here's why you have to. is USC's defense was ass last year. And get this, San Jose State's offense is good. And they return all 5 offensive linemen. They're starting wideout Lockhart, who was a beast at Nevada 2 years ago. And Kyrie Robinson's back, and Chevin Cordero is a dual threat quarterback that can really keep. That's what's going to be, we expect USC to beat the piss out of them, right? Even though we're taking the 31. But the more fascinating thing is like, we're going to be studying USC's defense, because let's say USC wins 56-31. The giving up 31 to San Jose State, I think, would be a telltale sign that they might have some issues with Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and Jaden Delora.
If that comes true, I think that means you're going to get Caleb Williams for at least 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And that's all you need.
Got a load on.
He has the highest ceiling on the slate by a mile. Yes, his ownership will be through the roof, but if you don't roster him, you're missing out on potentially a boatload of fantasy points. So I have him as well.
Got to load up on him. Okay, well, who's your other quarterback then, buddy?
Do you have to ask?
Oh, buddy.
My guy.
Rourke.
Curtis Rourke, 5.5K. I know, the knocks against him. Is he completely healthy? They're on the road up against a top 20 defense from a year ago. I get all that, but that's why he's only priced at 5.5K. And if you look at his season a year ago, throw out the P5 games. He didn't have great fantasy performances against Iowa State or Penn State. Throw those out and throw out the Ball State game where he got hurt and didn't finish a game. He averaged 33.2 fantasy points per game against the other 9 opponents, all the G5 opponents. You know what that average is? 33.2. That's exactly Caleb Williams' average last year for all the games he played. So I get why you might be scared to take him, but he's my guy. I'm a Bobcat fan. I'm going with Rourke for 5.5K.
I heard there's a shot we could see the backup though. No.
I heard he's 100% full go. He's done everything in fall camp. He's where'd you hear that?
I heard that.
Well, I have not. Yeah. As far as I've heard, it's full steam ahead.
Okay. Well, I think it's that's a play that could really hit for you. Okay, Noah says you heard 100%. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. But I went with the other side of that game. Jalen Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Jalen Iron Maiden, baby. Look, this is a guy, they're shifting to the air raid offense, right? He played high school ball in Texas. He knows the air raid offense. All right. That's impossible not to, but look, if you look at what he did in this, this is a guy that I feel like, okay, we know Air Force had the best defense in the nation, right? But if you take out that game, the bowl game, the last time we saw him, he threw for 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, 26 yards on the ground. Now, I did throw a couple picks, but I still think this guy, go back and look at New Mexico, who has a decent defense, might I add. They gave up 200, or he threw for 280 yards, 2 scores and a pick, and also had 40 yards on the ground. He's dual threat. He has 3 or 4 games from a season ago where, he rushed for 45 yards or more. So I just think you want to talk about fake stats, buddy. I don't buy into this Ohio defense being good.
Well, they weren't good. They were not good against the pass last year. I want to say, I mentioned it in our pod last night, 126th in the country, I think.
Do I need to bring back? I remember watching this game against Fordham last year, right? They beat Fordham 59-52, right? Fordham pulled up 52 points, right?
Hey, that quarterback's playing for the Washington Redskins right now.
He is, but he also threw for 503 yards and 6 touchdowns. 6 touchdowns, 503 yards. I'm sorry. I have zero faith in the Bobcat defense. I understand they got better in action play, but you know what else happens in action play? Cold ass weather, right?
And you're playing against other MAC teams.
Yes. You're going up against San Diego State. Get the fuck out of here. I'm loading up with Jaden Maiden, 5,900. Jaden Iron Maiden, baby.
Are you a little concerned first game in a brand new offense? albeit
really.
a pass happy offense.
I was about to say, if you played quarterback in high school in Texas, I feel like you know the air raid. So
I like the play because there's some bad defenses in this slate, and Ohio's is one of them. And if I'm making one knock on my team is that I don't have any San Diego State Aztecs. In general, I'm not high on San Diego State, and I did have some question marks how that offense is going to perform game one. But what Maiden's price is only like 5.9K or something, so it's still dirt cheap, only a couple $100 more than Rework. So I like the play, but if you want to go another side bet, I'm game.
Yeah. You know why? You know why? Because San Diego State's defense is still fucking phenomenal. Bring it on, buddy.
Okay. All right.
Let's take a look at this Ohio. I want to see Iowa State stats from a season ago.
It's not pretty.
Well, because I would say San Diego State's defense is more aligned with Iowa State's.
But San Diego State's defense, they returned 6 starters, I believe, and 4 of those starters is in the secondary.
They still got that Rocky Long guy, dude. Like, that guy is a very good defensive coordinator. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but I trust those guys. Rourke was 20 of 33, a $194, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions in that game. Bring it on. Okay. Get your little bourbon ready. This Ohio Bobcat.
Right, we got
defense.
3 side bets already. Moving on. I only have 2 running backs in this slate. How about you?
3.
Okay. Any of the guys from USC?
No.
Me neither.
Okay.
Which is kind of surprising because they all have high upside. My problem with Austin Jones or Marshawn Lloyd is that they're the 2 most expensive running backs on the slate, and we're not sure what the touches is going to be between them. And if USC goes up big, I think we might see their 3rd stringer, Quentin Joyner, who is the 4th highest running back on the slate. So I steer clear of the USC backfield.
Yes. If anything, I went to a guy from Southern California that probably never got an offer from USC. And that is Kyrie Robinson in that very game, playing his boys. I mean, he split time last season. He's the full beast now. He's getting 100%. I got an opportunity to interview Brent Brennan, and he was talking about the steps that he made. This is a guy against Wyoming who had a pretty good run defense a year ago. He had over 100 yards. If he gets the carries, check this out. He only had 2 games with more than 13 carries a season ago. Guess what he did? 20 for 102, 5.1 yards a rush, a touchdown, a catch out of the backfield against Wyoming, who has a good defense. And then 24 rushes for 148 yards, 6.2 yards a rush, a touchdown, a catch. Buddy, they're going to give him a strong dosage. And USC, the way they played defense last year, they better have a few things figured out.
I like it. It's a good play. I mean, I worry about game script a little bit. If San Jose State is down big, they might have to pass more, abandon the run game. But he is their main guy. And what's his price tag? It was like 6.
He's sitting at 5,900.
That's a good price for him too. So I don't have any problems with that. Good play. My top running back is from Bowie, Maryland. We have Fam in Bowie, Maryland.
Yeah, we've been shit hammered there.
We have. For me, it's a volume play. I went Sia Bangura for 7.2K, the Ohio Bobcat running back. And
this guy,
I'm going.
This guy's just leaning into. He thinks the Aztec defense is dog shit.
So their front 7, they only have two returning starters from their front 7. So I do think Ohio is going to find a little bit of success on the ground. And I know one thing is that Bangura is the main guy, and that's what I don't have with any of the USC running backs. So I had the money to spend up on Bangura.
I mean, look, Ohio's offense flew a season ago, but I think the real question, and this is going to make or break your team essentially, is it going to be?
It's a fair point because it's not the best matchup. I agree.
Well, let's go to the other side of this coin. There is a team switching to the air raid, right? But there's something I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that they're just going to ditch this rushing attack with stud running backs. All right. Now I did struggle a little bit, and I am a little nervous about which one's I think Keenan Christian's going to get the start, so I leaned Christian, but I think there's value in him or Armstead, and I still think, as much as they're going air raid, I think their advantage against Ohio is the run game. If they're going to win this game, it's going to be Ohio's shit defense. Now it was their run defense was better than their pass defense, but I'm loading up for 5,600 on Keenan Christian.
So I tell you that according to DraftKings and their notes for the players, Cam Davis was named the starting running back ahead of Keenan Christian and Martin Blake.
Holy shit. They're going, wow, the third string back from a season ago.
That's why I steered clear to this backfield, because I think all three of those guys are going to get touches. I don't even know if it matters who starts. I think they're going to platoon those guys in, and all three of them might have like 10 carries each. So I didn't roster any Aztec running backs.
I'm still going Christian. I'm not buying it. He's from San Diego, California. He's a 5th-year senior. You're telling me they're going to go with these youngsters over the fucking senior? I don't know, but maybe makes me think. Let me see what else that, because I don't have any. I have $5,600.
I have a nice running back at 5,400. Let me make you a case for him.
Okay,
I want to go with La Tech's Charvis Thornton, because we do know with La Tech that Crosby and Shelton are out, which basically just leaves Charvis Thornton. La Tech ran for 184 yards and 4 touchdowns in the game against FIU last year. Thornton, in a backup role in that game, had 12 for 53 and a touchdown. So I think the more touches, I think he's going to do well with them, and I think he has a chance for 80 plus yards, and I think he'll probably find the end zone once too. So I'm going to go Charvis Thornton for 5.4K.
Oh man, I think we might, dude. They got to start Keenan Christian. This guy's a USC transfer. The last time he got 10 carries in a game, right? 10 carries, 102 yards, right? Against New Mexico, which has a good defense. They're a top 50 defense. No, I'm dying hard like Bruce Willis. I'm going Keenan Christian.
I think Jalen Armstead is the other guy that's still in the mix there too.
That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be. So you're telling me, but both Christian is the veteran of I don't know. It's a bit that's going to be.
I mean, both Christian and Armstead got more carries than Davis last year, but all three of them return. That's why I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going on in that backfield. I don't want any parts of it.
How does Brady Hoke fuck this up? I'm still, but dude, either way, it's an air raid running back.
Trust your eyes. Trust what you've seen on the field.
Okay, and then
so I only had 2 running backs. Do you have one more?
Hang on, sorry, I just exited out of my lineup. I do. I am taking you to Nashville, Tennessee, where for $3,700 you can load up on the starting running back of the Commodores. And I'm drawing a blank on his first name right now, but his last name's Alexander. Is this guy a freshman? Is he a freshman?
No. So Patrick Smith is, I think, the starter, and he's 5.1K for Vandy, but I think he's going to be part of a rotation too. So who'd you mention?
Alexander is who I went with. I'm drawing a blank on his first name here.
Not Gillespie, who is for 4.6K. You're talking about Cedric Alexander.
Cedric, yes.
I don't know anything about him, but I think he's going to be one of the guys in the mix.
Buddy, this game's going to get out of hand. They're going to hand the ball off. I should probably roster all 3, to tell you the truth.
Vanderbilt ran for over 400 against Hawaii last year.
We should probably.
Granted, a good decent chunk of that was the quarterback last year, who was the dual threat. He ran for I think like 150, but still, they ran all over Hawaii last year.
Yeah.
To Noah's point, I like Tylen Hines also, the Hawaii running back. But again, I'm a little worried about game script if they get from behind, because he didn't do much through the air last year. I like Hines as a running back, but I'm worried if they get down if he doesn't see that many touches.
Yeah. Okay. Look, my receivers are just going to destroy yours too. Okay. You ready for this?
Okay.
Everyone's going to load up, I think, on Dorian Singer. Brendan Rice. You see what he did in that bowl game against Tulane?
6 for 174, 2 touchdowns, huh?
He's the son of Jerry Rice, who's the greatest receiver of all time, arguably. I will load up on Brendan Rice at 6,200.
Play the music. I'm with you.
Let's go.
But
All
before we go too far, I also have Dorian Singer for 7.7K.
Woo!
Double stack the Trojan receivers with Caleb Williams.
Loading up on them. They have like 4 or 5 good wideouts. That's the only
Taj
scary
Washington,
thing. Yeah.
And who's the other guy? Mario Williams.
Transfer. Yeah. My highest priced receiver is a guy named Sam Wiglues. This guy's a fucking legend. Former Ohio State wideout for the Ohio Bobcats, taking on San Diego State. Look, I don't think San Diego State is going to completely shut down the Ohio Bobcat offense. I think they'll do a decent job shutting them down. Wiglues 7,100. There's no way you can lose when you have Sam Wiglues on your roster.
I'm glad you got a Bobcat in there. I didn't take him, but you know I'm a fan. We talked about him a lot last year, and he's a baller.
You know what I thought about doing though? Fuck. Actually, hold on. Let me see something. Because you could go with. Oh man. Actually, no. Okay. I'll go Wiglues, and then I'm gonna drop my. So I was originally gonna go with Cyrus Allen for Louisiana Tech, right? Because you look at it and say Trey Harris is off to Ole Miss.
Right.
Smoke Harris is gonna get all the attention from Mike McIntyre's a defensive coach. He's gonna go after Smoke Harris, and Cyrus Allen could have a gigantic day.
Sure.
But the more I think about it, and Cyrus Allen's 5,700, I'm going cheaper.
Do you not have Will Shepherd for 5K?
I don't.
Really? I mean, he's going to be highly owned, but Will Shepherd's a baller. I mean, he had 60 catches for over 775 yards, 9 touchdowns last year. He's a true number one for only 5K. This is, like I said earlier, when I was talking about the other segment, was that he is the most underpriced guy on the whole slate.
Yeah, that game could get ugly though, man. You got to worry about that angle and that too.
Last year against Hawaii, he only had 3 catches for 39 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns in the game against Hawaii last year. Okay. What are you saying? What do you got?
Well, no, you know who I think I actually already thought like this when I made my lineup yesterday. I want Justin Lockhart, but he's questionable. So that's why I think I went with Wiglues is the fact that he's questionable. I need to know if he's playing, but Justin Lockhart's the starting receiver for San Jose State. He was very good at Nevada a couple years ago. I expect a lot of points in that game, but with him being questionable, I guess I got to go back to the well. Cyrus Allen.
I like the play of Cyrus Allen. He was a big play threat last year. Not a ton of catches, but I mean, I think he averaged almost like 20 yards per catch last year or something. So I like the play.
There we go. We even got Donnie Trump in the chat. Apparently,
look at that. Look at that.
You bastard! You destroyed the USFL. Crazy bastard. All right.
I only got one guy left. How about you?
Wait, I thought I gave away my whole team.
Oh, did you?
No? Yeah.
All right. Well, I got one guy left.
Okay. Who's your one guy left?
Again, I think I only had $100 left over here. So this is bottom of the barrel, 3K, another complete, dart throw. I had to really do my research on this guy. His name is Eric Rivers. He's $3,000. He's a receiver for FIU. He's actually a transfer from Memphis, where he got switched to DB last year. Didn't like it. Said, no, I'm a receiver. So he transferred to Mike McIntyre. And apparently the offensive coordinator said he has been the top receiver in fall camp this year. We know Tyrese Chambers, their best receiver from last year, is a Maryland Terrapin. So somebody's got to catch some balls for FIU. Like so I'm going to take a shot at Eric Rivers.
That is why you listen to the College Football Experience DFS show, folks. And that is our show.
Boom.
Folks, we invite you. We invite you. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And remember, NC Nick is going to be tweeting this out, but we'll retweet it from. Make sure you tag at TCE on SGPN, Nick. But yeah, Nick is on Twitter at NC__NICK. So give him a follow. I'm on Twitter at @TheColbyD. You'll see it there. We invite you. It's been fun. It's been fun. Shout out to the chat that's been rocking along. I almost said rocking along, right? Rocking along. and this is just the beginning, folks.
Hey,
also,
our three side bets, so we don't forget them. It is
Iron Maiden against Rourke.
against Rourke.
Yeah.
All right. The first game, it's Hartman versus
Against
Hardison.
Oh, that sounds like a movie. Hartman versus Hardison. It's like a law. That's a case
law
in
firm.
Yeah.
And then what was the third one in the first game?
Oh, who was that? Oh no, it was the Notre Dame tight end against the Notre Dame receiver.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah, I got you. You're done. Jake Pegman says you sticking to this time each week once Thursday night football kicks off.
Can't promise that.
Well, it'll be on Thursdays. It'll either be at this time or Thursday morning.
So the thing is, Jake, is that we want to watch the Thursday night games too, especially if there's good ones.
Yes.
So we might try to pump them out during the day. Well, we'll see. It's a fluid situation.
But they should be available by the time on Thursday night. All right. So, folks, also remember to check out the College Football Experience, breaking down all 133 teams. So get on over there and check out all your teams. The FCS College Football Experience. All right. Get over there. We're breaking down tomorrow night. We got the final conference of Missouri Valley scheduled to go live at 5 p.m. Pacific. So check us out there. All other team previews. And then Saturday morning, folks. Saturday morning, I will be live an hour before that Notre Dame game kicks at 11:30 Pacific, at 10:30 Pacific. Pick Dundee will be live. Terrell Furman Jr. joining the party. And then later Saturday night. Oh, you don't think I'm going to do a reaction show for Saturday night or for Saturday's 7 game? Well, the FCS 10 game slate. Fuck you. All right, here we're going. We got a little reaction show going. I don't care. I don't care. Like, why would I? I've heard people talk about this. Well, are you going to do a reaction show for UMass and New Mexico State? Because I love UMass and New Mexico State. All right.
Who said
and that? Reese Poffenberger. Oh,
lifetime ban.
Someone here at the SGPN studios.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, no, let's ban them too. Fuck it. Folks, give us a follow, subscribe, youtube.com. You can watch all this, youtube.com/the college experience. We're just getting started, and get this, starting next week, Pick Dundee live 5 days a week at noon kickoff. All right. Cause that is college football. So Monday at noon, Tuesday at noon, Wednesday at noon, Thursday at noon, Friday at noon. That's what that means. So make sure you check all that stuff out. We'll be talking college football each and every day. You've spied on the Vanderbilt end zone. It's not finished, says the Chinese. We got the Chinese spy balloon in here too. Things are going good, baby.
And Donald Trump. Oh my goodness.
You know where it is? You remember the Chinese spy balloon got shot down in Conway, South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
I got word that it was really Grayson McCall threw a football and took that thing down.
True story.
Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're just getting started. See you Saturday for the morning show, Saturday night reaction show, and see you tomorrow night for the FCS action. All right. I'm on VSiN tonight too. So check out VSiN. This is the College Football Experience Week 0 DFS show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And you know